What happens when we combine a long-forgotten trace rifle with one of the best exotics in the game for speedrunning grandmasters? Apart from the easiest grandmaster rewards of your life, we also get a laser capable of melting champions, a ton of ignitions, and infinite special ammo for you as well as infinite heavy ammo for your teammates. You might be thinking, why would you combine Cenotaph with Prometheus Lens? And that is because they complement each other extremely well in all sorts of content all the way up to Grandmasters. Cenotaph refills 4% of the mag of trace rifles every 0.7 seconds. This works while shooting, aiming, and even when you have a different weapon out. Thanks to this slow and steady refill, we can actually shoot Prometheus Lens for a much longer duration, allowing you to create a massive field of heat. This combined with flame refractions, filling up your mag whenever you get a kill, basically allows you to never have to reload your weapon ever again. However, we know that trace rifles consume a lot of ammo because of their insanely high fire rates. And this is exactly where Cenotaph's second perk comes into the rescue, because we are going to be getting special ammo every time an ally kills a tagged enemy. Those include vehicles, champions, mini-bosses, and bosses. The way you tag an enemy is relatively simple because all you have to do is shoot them with 5 bullets. That's right, you only need to hit an enemy 5 times. Not 20, 30 or 50, just 5. Once you tag them, the enemy is going to stay tagged for 10 seconds. Additional hits refresh this timer. One thing to keep in mind is that only one enemy can be tagged at the same time. And once you tag an enemy, you cannot tag another one until you either kill the first one or the tag timer runs out. Another thing to keep in mind is that it looks like Scorch and other debuffs sometimes override the red glow that you get whenever you tag an enemy. For example, in here, the enemy was tagged the whole time, but because my ally couldn't see the tag, he didn't want to kill him. This is simply a visual bug, and as long as you shoot an enemy with a trace rifle, they will get tagged, so don't be afraid to tell your teammates to simply kill them. Cenotaph is truly an amazing exotic, and now thanks to Prometheus Lens, we have taken the offensive and transformed it into a more balanced and fun exotic overall. Prometheus is also quite the amazing weapon this season. It can deal with both unstoppable and bigger champions the exact same way Polaris Lance can. Except Pro Lance is much better close range and for groups of enemies, whereas Polaris is more of a long range weapon. Pro Lance applies Scorch stacks whenever you deal sustained damage to a target, and when we combine this with Kindling Trigger and Ember of Ashes, you end up causing a ton of ignitions. Not to mention that Pro Lance also has Incandescent built in, so you can apply even more Scorch stacks to everyone, allowing you to add clear rooms of enemies very easily. Finally, the longer you fire the weapon, the bigger the field of heat energy gets. This field also applies Scorch stacks to the enemies close by. With a full understanding of our exotic and weapon, we can move on to the fragments, aspects, and mods. In the artifact, make sure that you pick up Kindling Trigger, Flint Striker, Revitalizing Blast, and Rays of Precision. Stat-wise, make sure that you prioritize Resilience, followed by Discipline, and then Recovery. Aspect-wise, we are going to be using Heat Rises and Touch of Flame. For our fragments, we are starting off with Ember of Ashes. That way, we can apply even more Scorch stacks, followed by Ember of Torches so we can get Radiant on demand. We are also using Ember of Char because we are going to be creating so many ignitions. And finally, Ember of Empyrean, that way you can extend your Radiant and Restoration as long as you keep on getting kills. Mod-wise, we are starting off with Heavy Ammo Finder with a Heavy Ammo Scout, followed by a Harmonic Siphon. On our gauntlets, we are using Focusing Strike with double impact inductions. On our chestplate, we are using a triple resist mod to make sure that you don't die. On our leg armor, I am using 1 copy of Harmonic Scavenger. That way, we are double dipping with our heavy solar weapon as well as our Prometheus Lens. We are also going to be using double solar weapon surges. Now, if you're not struggling with ammo, then simply replace the Harmonic Scavenger with a 3rd copy of solar weapon surges. Finally, on our bond, we are using 1 copy of Time Dilation, with 1 copy of Font of Restoration, followed by Bomber. Weapon wise, we know that Pro Lens can take care of Unstoppables quite easily. It can also deal with barriers as long as you are Radiant, meaning that your primary weapon should preferably be one that can deal with overloads or barriers. Combine this with a Solar Rocket Launcher and you're good to go. For your allies, I highly recommend that one of them runs Galahorn, because it is absolutely amazing with a Cenotaph Warlock, and it will allow your teammates to deal so much more damage. When it comes to playing this build, it's seriously simple. Start your rotation with your melee, that way you can get your Radiant going. You can also throw down your grenade for the restoration ×2, because you will be extending it with Ember of Empyrean. Getting Radiant through Flint Striker is not going to happen as often, because it requires you to crit 25% of your mag, which is not too easy with a Trace Rifle since they have a huge mag. That is why you will mainly be using your melee to become Radiant. I like to save my melee if I know that I am about to face a champion, because it not only weakens them, but allows you to deal so much more damage and stun them faster. Remember to tag enemies and let your teammates kill them once tagged, that way you get special ammo and they get heavy. There's not much else to it. Have fun and try out the build and let me know what do you think. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day.